But I want to bring up on video Skype from England, Paul Watson, who's broken this news, and he's gotten it from Tony Gosling, who's been a pretty good source of info in the past, at Bilderberg.org. I'm going to check with Tucker, or as the French say, Tuquier, and then I'm going to check with Mark Anderson as well, one of the editors over AmericanFreePress.net. But they're always a little more conservative. They want to be careful. But we'll find out from them by tomorrow what their take is on this. Maybe even today. We got Lew Rockwell coming up. Paul Watson, big story up at Infowars.com. Tell us about it.
Well, Alex, I've been saying for weeks that all this speculation about the meeting in Haifa, Israel, was probably nonsense because they've never met outside of Europe or North America. And then, of course, you've got the US presidential election, which they routinely have an influence in picking the VP, as in the case of John Edwards in 2004, and Barack Obama's VP, Joe Biden, back in 2008. So basically, if you go on the Westfields Marriott Hotel website, which of course is where Bilderberg met both in 2002 and 2008, and you try and book a hotel room from May 31st, which is a Thursday, to June the 3rd, which is a Sunday, there are no rooms available. If you book either side of those dates, there are rooms available, which suggests, although it's not confirmed, that that is where the 2012 Bilderberg meeting will take place. Of course, they routinely, not routinely, but occasionally they will book a number of hotels as a decoy to try and throw people off the scent. And even virtually the day before the Switzerland meeting last year, some people thought it was a different hotel than it actually was. So although the hotel's not confirmed, it seems likely that it will be in Chantilly, Virginia, and it will be at the Westfields Marriott.
Well, it looks like I'll have to saddle up in the InfoWars command bus and head my Texas hind end up there, Paul. Perhaps we should get a tradition going, and I should fly you into the main command base of the New World Order and have you there at the ceremonies this year.
Well, it's interesting because at the end of last year's conference, myself and Aaron Dykes were having lunch with Mark Anderson and Jim Tucker just before we left the hotel. And we were saying, well, where do you think it's going to be next year? And I said, I think in regard to the nature walk that they had during last year's conference, where they were confronted by a legion of demonstrators and shouted at, that this year's event will be in some crap-hole authoritarian country where people can be held back and harassed at the border checkpoints. So it looks like that's the case. It's in America. So anybody who flies in is going to get the TSA
Now,
harassment.
hold on. I can call America in its current state a crap hole. You can't. But England's a crap hole, too.
The people who run it.
No, exactly. That's their view of it, I understand. They want to turn America, UK, and every other country into an Agenda 21 festering cesspit is a more politically correct way to say it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as Gosling points out, they're going to be able to stop people from getting in and covering it. Just a shame for them that, you know, you're going to be there. I expect We Are Change, they're going to be there, so... You know, it sounds like a lot of fun that they're going to have once again.
Well, good job, Watson, but we're going to make you on assignment come here. So
I don't know whether I'd be better off writing all the articles about it, but we can have that conversation.
I could be feeding you information. You could be filling in on the show live, coordinating, while I am on the ground.
Well, yeah. Either way, sounds like a good deal.
You there on the air, and me there on the ground feeding you?
Feeding me, yeah.
Folks, that is guys, go to YouTube and type in Dr. Strangelove Mandrake feeds machine gun. We have all this behind the scenes. Like Star Wars is cheesy, but it's fun to connect things to that. But we also do it to Dr. Strangelove. Stanley Kubrick's film. And then you've got Mandrake, who's the captain from England, assigned to the Strategic Air Command. And you've got General Jack T. Ripper, who's completely crazy, launching a nuclear war under Plan R. And the Army's coming to try to stop him to get the recall codes before they bomb Russia and trigger the doomsday device. And they're shooting machine guns into the windows, and he's going, "Hurry up, Mandrake! The redcoats are coming! Get over here with that belt, boy, and feed me that." And then later he's trying to get Jack the Ripper to General Ripper to give him the codes. He's going, "Jack, come on, bold boy. You know I'm your friend. You there with the gun, me there on the floor with the belt, feeding you, Jack." And he's like, "I don't know how I'd stand up under torture, Mandrake." And he's like, "That's the idea. A little wash and a brush up always gets you in the mood to give me the old codes, Jackie. The old codes." I'm sorry. People haven't seen the movie. They don't understand. Anything else, Paul?
Yeah, just one more thing, talking about them possibly making it difficult for people to get in and cover it like they did with you in Canada in 2006. Spain has announced, or the European Union has given Spain the green light, that they're going to seal their border temporarily next week. They're going to dispense with the Schengen Agreement, which is the free movement of peoples between European countries. There's no border controls, specifically to keep out anti-EU protesters, because there's a big ECB summit in Barcelona where all these technocrats are going to get together and decide how to screw European people even further. And so the Spanish government has got the green light from the EU to completely revoke the Schengen Agreement for a period of 1 week. And so they're going to have tight border controls, and they say they're going to stop anti-EU protesters from getting into Spain.
Well, that's always
France.
been the plan. The border stuff here is to keep us in, not the people out. They want more slaves here in the system, and it's the same thing with the IRS saying that they want to pass this law where you can't travel if they say no judge, no jury. And by the way, this is going to be breaking. I talked to Jim Mars this morning, and sure enough, it's in the Dallas Observer. For $110, the book building, where Oswald supposedly shot to the tree and all that, along with the Keebler Elves and killed Kennedy, they are taking over for the 2 days of the anniversary, the 50th next year of the JFK being murdered, and no one is allowed in except the controlled media. Just like 9/11, they block half the city so you can't get in and protest. It's an inside job. Now, they're so worried everybody's going to come in at their media event, they're saying the public park of Dealey Plaza, in its entire 100-year history, it's never been closed. It's closed to the public, and they're leasing it for $110. And, of course, there should be lawsuits now. If I can't lease it for $110, but you can't do that. Again, they're so scared of us. And so now, next year at the 50th, I'm going to be there and call for thousands to be there, and we're going to make it a media event. It's going to backfire on them. And even the local paper is saying it's wrong. I mean, it's pure authoritarianism, Paul.
Yeah, they want to keep people out, and it's like this EU thing. The EU grandstands as this 21st century liberal democracy with a free movement of peoples. Isn't it ironic that the only time they suspend that right is to keep anti-EU protesters out of the country? Again, underscoring their fundamentally authoritarian raison d'etre.
And let's be clear, that means people from Germany and France and other countries that are just trying to come to Spain, during the late spring, early summer, best time of the year to come. Oh, you just can't come in now. That's what it's all about. It's for us. Notice, Paul, they've announced the war on terror is over, but the TSA's going on the streets to search your bags without warrants, and they've just got it started. And they say the new threat is white, conservative, libertarian, veteran, Al-Qaeda.
Yeah, they're shifting the whole apparatus over to the host population of the countries. That's what the war on terror was always designed to be, and that's what's now happening with all these drones in America. You can go and see where they are now, and it's all being focused back onto the population.
Well, again, red linked at Infowars.com. Secret of Bilderberg group set to meet in Virginia, May 31st, June 3rd. Maybe we'll dispatch from the UK as the UK correspondent, Stevie. I wonder if Steve Watson would like to come and have your phone ring and it's David Rockefeller at your hotel room. And obviously, we'll be checking in a few days early at the hotel, and so they can throw us out. I'm surprised. I guess they love that Chantilly. You know why they like it there? Because they have all Raytheon and all the big defense contractors circle it, and it's just total surveillance grid. And, of course, this year, when I get followed, we start chasing the cars that are following us. We slam on our brakes, get behind them. The plainclothes State Department Marines start flipping us off, and they think they're intimidating us. Then they pull over. We get out. They run and lock themselves in bathrooms. That's what happens when you ask Peter Powers about 7/7 and the drill of the exact same targets, exact same times. What, 3 times on tape he goes and locks himself at in the bathroom? I mean, these guys are following us. Ooh, you got shaved heads. Oh, we're so intimidated. And then they'll pull over and run into a taco shop in one case and lock themselves in the bathroom. I mean, you know, we're Americans, we're journalists, we're covering a bunch of crooks coming into our country, meeting in secret. Okay? So take some more vaccines, breathe some more DU. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that's what we did in Switzerland. We started chasing them, and it just looked like petrified little rats. It's very different from holding it halfway up a mountain in a Swiss skiing resort, isn't it? Because the protesters were so close, and they actually confronted them, that now they're gonna have the security even tighter. But
and they had members of the state, of the federal government, of members of their parliament, their Congress, show up there. They had a torch procession, and a lot of them left a day early. They see the villagers with torches, they left.
Oh yeah, they were flying in and out on helicopters paid for by taxpayers, completely illegal, and they were exposed in that as well. So that's only going to be intensified more so this year if it's in Washington.
Oh, I love it. Ugh, these people are maggots. Paul, you've done an exemplary job. I really appreciate the work you're doing.
Thanks, Alex.
Take care, buddy. Oh, boy. Forget the maneuvers. Go straight at him. Let's go back to the caller. He dropped off. I wanted to hear his story, but that was breaking news with Paul. Big news, Infowars.com. Schickert Bilderberg Group set to meet in Virginia, May 31st, June 3rd. I'll make sure we send that over to Drudge. Globalist clique set to play role in U.S. presidential election. Yeah, the Washington Post admits it now. My goodness, that's not very, very loving.